The world of cryptocurrency isn't looking too good. I don't know if we've released this video yet or not. That's going to be up to when it's done and ready to go out. But we're releasing a video just kind of describing the overall state of cryptocurrency and how bad everything currently is and why it's that way and how everything can improve in the future if possible. So that should be coming out, either it already has or it's coming out in the future. Either way, the point is cryptocurrency scene, not very good for miners, not very good for people who are hodling at this point. But then again, if you ever talk to a hodler, they're just like, I hodl because it's always going to get better. Hodling is the best thing you can do in the long term. Don't worry about the short term crashes. Everything's going to be fine. So like there's no swaying them. Like they're convinced that everything's going to be perfect in the long run. However, there might be some good news. So this is pure speculation. This is kind of just me looking at the current situation and being like, I think this could possibly happen. So maybe I just like, this is me spitballing out into the World Wide Web, kind of giving you my ideas of what might go down. Anyways, we released a video a couple weeks ago at this point about a Crypto Night ASIC miner that might be coming out. So an ASIC, for those of you who don't know, is basically just a giant computer that is dedicated to only cryptocurrency mining, and not like a GPU miner, which can play video games and mine different currencies. ASICs are only good at like specific algorithms, and that's basically it. So with that, the Crypto Night algorithm affects mostly Vega graphics cards, because those are the best GPUs that you can buy for crypto mining right now, which affects currencies like Monero, Electroneum, and Sumo Coin. So those have been hot commodities over the past few months. Vega has been out of stock because it absolutely destroys Crypto Night algorithms compared to every other graphics card that's on the market. So the cheapest, lightest ASIC that's coming out for Crypto Night is going to be 10 times the performance of a single Vega graphics card. And then the best ASIC that's going to be coming out for Crypto Night is going to be 110 times more powerful than a single Vega graphics card. So if you can imagine, that means that graphics cards aren't going to be doing well in a currency that they've been doing it well at for a very long time, which means that, you know, they're just going to be useless for that currency. You're not going to be able to mine them anymore, just like you can't really mine Bitcoin with a graphics card at this point, because there are ASICs that have driven the difficulty up to the point where your processing power just can't match what's necessary in order to mine. So that's the current state of affairs. There's an ASIC that's coming out for very popular currencies that graphics cards have done really well at. However, in response to this, the makers of the currencies that are affected by this change, namely Monero and Electroneum and Sumo Coin, as I mentioned before, specifically Monero is going to be performing what's known as a hard fork. So they're going to be changing the algorithm. They're going to be making changes to how you mine the currency so that it's no longer affected by ASICs. So they're performing a hard fork, which means they're changing everything. And if you want to be on the main Monero fork, you have to change your algorithm as well, which means that ASICs can't do that algorithm anymore. ASICs won't be able to affect Monero. So Monero is hard forking. There's a nifty little countdown that's happening. 2 days. Wow, that's really shiny. In 2 days, 19 minutes, 2 days, 19 hours, 58 minutes. So in about 3 days, Monero will be hard forking, and by the time this video comes out, it's going to be in about 2 days that Monero is hard forking to get off of the algorithm that the ASICs are currently on. As I mentioned though, ASICs drive up the difficulty of a particular coin. And one of the conspiracy theories is that the ASICs have already been on the mining network. The argument that people love to make in the comments is, why would you sell ASICs and not mine with them? You're going to make more money if you mine with them. The coins are going to be much more valuable than just selling the hardware. Which is true up until a point. And it's believed that Bitmain isn't selling these ASIC miners until they've gotten to the point where it's now worth more money to sell them than it is to actually mine with them. Which means that ASICs have already been on the mining network. Bitmain has already been mining Monero and Electroneum and Sumo Coin using these ASICs, which has driven up the difficulty to where it is now, namely somewhere in the region of, what's the current difficulty? I don't even know how to break that number up. 100,000 million, 114 billion. The current difficulty is at 114 billion. And if you look at the rate of growth, I mean, it looks like Monero difficulty has been going up quite a bit, and it's so to the point that it's not super profitable to mine with a Vega graphics card right now. However, with this hard fork that might happen, if it actually hard forks and the ASICs have been on the network, this means that the new miners who are coming onto the network, there's not going to be any ASICs, which means the difficulty will be lower, which means you're going to actually be able to mine more coins, which means if you have a Vega graphics card, you might be able to see profitability shoot through the roof in about 2 days when Monero actually forks, because graphics cards will again be able to take up the lion's share of the mining. Sure, like it's obviously going to increase in difficulty as more Vega cards come online to mine the Monero, the new Monero fork, but there might be a golden hour, a golden time where we can actually get we can actually get more Monero than even before, because the difficulty is going to drop off because the ASICs won't be on the network. And so this video is just to serve as my pitch out to the idea of watch Monero, watch its profitability, watch when it hard forks, and watch if you can get onto the new fork and start mining and see if you're actually going to be able to produce more. Because I can't guarantee that ASICs have been on the network. Who knows? Maybe Bitmain is just developing these and selling them, and they're not actually mining with them. They haven't been using them. This is be the first time that they're ever introduced out into the wild. If that's the case, then the fork will happen and there's not going to be any change, and it'll just actually be, you'll just have the same profitability, which isn't very much right now. But if it's possible, I want to warn you, I just want to give you guys a heads up. It's an entirely a possibility of what could happen in the coming days with the lower difficulty on Monero that could spike your profits quite a bit. So be on the watch for that. I'm not recommending that you go out and buy graphics cards for it. I'm not recommending that you actually invest money into Monero. I'm not saying anything like that. This is just an idea generation. However, even if ASICs get off the network, one of the discussions that I've heard, and this is something that I'm not super familiar with because I'm not into the idea of like how to code cryptocurrencies and how to code for mining and how it all works. But the arguments that I've read from people much smarter than I is that even if Monero hard forks, as long as they remain on the CryptoNight algorithm, the ASICs that are coming out can update their firmware to the point where they are able to actually mine on the new Monero fork. So it's not going to be necessarily an issue long term for the ASICs. The ASICs will probably be reintroduced to the network, and it's just something that we're going to have to deal with. But for a short period of time, before that firmware update rolls out, we will actually be able to have higher profitability with Vega cards. So that's the idea. But again, that's something I'm not terribly familiar with. So it's possible that the ASICs might not ever be able to mine Monero again. But then, like, I've heard that argument. But then I've also heard the argument that, like, this is just, like, more coding on the side of Bitmain. They can just update the ASIC with the firmware, and then, yeah, Bob's your uncle, and the ASICs are on the network again, and everybody who's bought one can still mine with it. So that's going to be it. Anyways, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think that this Monero fork possibility is a possibility? Do you think that I'm just absolutely out of line? I mean, I've read both sides of the argument that this is not happening because ASICs aren't on the network. This is happening because ASICs are on the network. Like, I've heard both sides, so I want to know where you guys stand. Let me know your thoughts down in the Discord, which is the top link in the video description, or down in the comments. I want to chat with you guys wherever you feel comfortable, preferably on the Discord, so that we can build our own little community over there. I would appreciate that if you decided to hit that up. Be sure to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. If you are going to be buying graphics cards for mining because, you know, Vega's all of a sudden profitable again, you can use our Amazon affiliate code that's in the video description to pick up a Vega graphics card if you're going to be doing it. I'm not recommending it, and I'm not recommending it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying if you are, you can help out the channel, which links in the video description for all of that. Be sure to smash the like button. Already said that. Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. This should be the last video from, like, the horrible dungeon that this looks like. I like this. This is I feel in my element here. This looks very bright. Anyways, yeah, we're leaving Greenville today, heading to Atlanta, and then, yeah, big trips coming up. So yeah, that's gonna be it. See you guys in the next location in the next video. Adios, goodbye. I love making videos for you guys. Like, it's been fun. It's been fun. It's on the road. It's been hard, but it's been fun. I like you guys.